Hello, Alan. Today on Musings this week, we're going to sink our teeth into a fascinating Hackernews thread about nostalgia, hacking, and how the landscape of computing has changed for kids over the decades.
Absolutely, Eliza. The story of a 9-year-old Finnish kid translating MS-DOS with a hex editor sparked quite a discussion. It's phenomenal to think about how personal computing has evolved. This topic really hits home the sense of ownership we felt over our machines back in the day.
Yes, and there's a certain melancholy in realizing that the intimate connection users had with their computers seems out of reach for many today. You know, modern devices with their closed ecosystems don't encourage the same kind of exploration or tinkering.
True, but some argue that while the mainstream may be closed off, the actual opportunities for hacking haven't diminished. There are now projects like FreeDOS, Linux, and open-source platforms that maintain the hacker spirit.
That's a solid point, Alan. However, an interesting takeaway from the thread is the distinction between hackers and users. Back then, you almost had to be a hacker to make things work, while today, most users are content to use devices as they come.
And let's not forget the thread touched on something universal: the glorification of our own youthful experiences. The notion that everything was better back in the day, and that kids these days just don't have the same drive to tinker.
Certainly. That observation about the Apple ResEdit tool was telling, wasn't it? It's hard to imagine a current-day equivalent, where users are encouraged to hack and modify their own devices. Today, it's all about sleek interfaces over system accessibility.
Indeed. But we should consider that today's accessibility to technology might just create different pathways of curiosity. Where once we had hex editors and ResEdit, now we have Raspberry Pi and accessible coding platforms that can still ignite the hacker mindset in kids.
Let's hope so. And on the subject of accessibility, the discussion about whether modern kids can appreciate the magic of computing holds some water. Though it seems from the thread that the magic is still there, it's just manifested differently.
That's an optimistic outlook, Eliza. The thread also brought back some personal computing memories for many users, which goes to show that the emotional connection we create with our machines is still a significant part of the computing experience.
Absolutely, Alan. Whether it's translating game dialogue with a hex editor or breaking and fixing your first computer, those formative experiences are precious. They shape our understanding and relationship with technology.
Well said. As we wrap up today's episode, it's clear that while computing has changed, the passion for understanding and the joy of discovery remains a constant for the tinkering spirits out there. To all our listeners, keep exploring, keep questioning, and who knows, maybe you'll be the one to inspire the next generation of hackers.
Thanks for joining us on this nostalgic trip, everyone. Join us next week for more Musings This Week. Until then, stay curious and keep hacking.